on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We are at EPCC Music. I asked Fawn this morning if math has an Instagram. Do you guys have an Instagram? No Instagram. We got to get on
I
that, Fawn.
know. We are math person, right? We need to get that up.
So here we are, just a little bit about us. Of course, you know, the music people know who we are. We're the two coordinators from Via Verde. And Miss Fan Chen is associate math professor. So in case you don't know, once you are done being assistant professor, you go to associate. And she's also assistant to Dina Maya, who sees the math and sciences. So today we're talking about fractions. And so it's coffee with fractions. And what you will need, we're going to give you a couple minutes to gather some things. We're gonna play with cutting out pieces of paper and basically kind of work on cutting pies. Now, Fawn is not a fan of pies, apparently, just eating them, but she prefers rectangles. And so if you decide to go with a rectangle, I suppose that's fine. But I like pies. So if you want to just take a moment and gather these few things, if you're a music major, you may want to take some notes as well. Okay. And some scissors, some paper, a notebook, and a pencil, just so that you can cut some shapes and things. And in the meantime, I'm going to see if I have an important text from someone. Let's see.
If you have paper play, you can gather the paper play as well.
Paper is fun.
Yeah.
That works. Yes.
I have to make a correction. The only pie I like, I will never ever say no, is pumpkin pie.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah,
I would like never say no to pumpkin pecan pie.
Oh, yeah, you know, it took
Intense.
my husband like I don't know how many years to learn. I think 8 years. Finally, he learned that I really did not appreciate cake during my birthday, but I really love the pumpkin pie.
Wow. When is your birthday?
I said is close to Thanksgiving, so that's a great season to get pumpkin pie.
That's genius.
Yeah,
That's
but
fantastic.
it took him years to learn that.
That's great. Okay, so we've got some folks gathering some things here this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and move to our next slide.
And then in case you guys don't have a paper plate, in the chat bar, they uploaded that circle cutout for you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so you can print that circle cutout if you want to. If you don't trust yourself with circles, I understand. Sometimes my circles come out a little haphazard. So today we're going to first define what fractions mean. Look, not all of us are math people like Fawn, okay, like Miss Chen. And so we're going to talk a little bit about also multiplying fractions. I needed a refresher because I don't do any kind of math anymore. So Fawn taught me the other day. And then we're also going to relate fractions to 4/4 time. And so that's the whole concept of this week, is relating math to music. And so they're very well tied together, right? So Fawn, I think I've got a cue here. Take it away, Fawn. Here we go.
Here we go. Here I am. Okay, I'm going to let's stop the PowerPoint for now because I'm going to do something hand-on right now, right? And
yes.
Let me switch my camera. You won't be able to see me next because I am going to switch to my documented camera. Then you can see my hand instead of seeing me.
Ooh.
And hold on, not my windows. You know, that's technology, right? Sometimes you forget how many filter you apply. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about hole, right? Because this is a one hole, bigger plate. This is another hole, smaller plate, but this hole is different from this hole, right? Just think about what hole mean to you, the one mean to you. So the unit to our math is very important. Is a hole, what, how big it is. And like Jasmine said that, I don't like pie. Well, I'm not a big fan of chocolate either, but because of you guys, I went to buy chocolate. This is a piece of chocolate. This is a whole chocolate, right? So those are all representing whole. But Today we are going to talk about fractions. When we talk about fractions, I hope that you can follow me when you say half, right? And okay, share half your cake with me. Share half of your pie with me. Share half of your pizza with me. Or share half a cracker with me. Half, what does mean? That means I'm going to share like little kids. Make sure it's half. No, you don't have more. No, I have less. No, unfair, right? No. So I'm going to fold it. So it's an overlap. So that's exactly half, right? So what the half really meant in here is my whole piece. Sorry, to save time, I'm not going to use the ruler. I'm just going to get in here. So that means my whole piece and got into the two pieces, which is when we talk about math, that is a denominator. The bottom number, which is bottom me, the people say the bottom number, that's called denominator. That's divided by in two pieces, right? So that's two pieces, right? Each side, this is one piece, and this one piece. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so now in the whole, you can see that it makes sense, all right? This is one half, but sometimes we forget after we cut it. After we cut it, and I take this one away, and you think, oh, this is a whole, but it's not. It is a whole piece. You think about just looking at that, but this is the original one half of the other piece. Okay, so half is might not be that hard for you to understand. Then now, I'm going to make half. Remember, I'm going to cut this one into two pieces again, right? So if I flip this side, I say, okay, this is two pieces, half of this one, half of this one, right? You say, oh, this is called half again. But wait a minute. It is not half of my original whole. It's half of my half, right? Just like a tongue twister, half of half. So in math, half of means multiply. That's how the math works, like half of half. Okay, so that means I'm going to cut this one into half as well. And let me cut it so you can see that. Okay, so this piece will be, I need to use 4 pieces of this, make a whole circle. So that's one of the 4 pieces. So it's called a quarter. So that's the relationship of quarter, right? It's 1 out of the 4 pieces, 1 out of 4. If I take 2 pieces of that, that means 2 out of 4. That's 2/4. That's the reason we call that it's the same as 1/2, right? So that's the reason that 2/4 is the same as 1/2 because it's 2 pieces of 1/4. Using the extended the same concept, I'm going to cut a little piece. This, remember, this is a quarter of the whole, right? It's half of the half, a quarter of the whole. I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces again. I'm not going to write that because I know that you're smart. You can get the pattern. So think about this. If this is 2 pieces, that will be 2 pieces as well. And this will be 2 and another 2. So totally you will have 8 pieces. If I take 1 this, that's 1 out of the 8. So that's what we say, that 1/8 in here. And if I take 2 out of that, that will be what? 2/8. Wow, 2/8, it looks exactly the same as a quarter, right? So that's the reason we say 2/8 is equivalent to 1/4. And if I take, think about this, I take 3 pieces out, because I take 3 out of the 8 pieces, so it's 3/8. If I take 4 pieces out of that, that's what? The same as a half, right? 4/8 is the same as half, or is the same as 2 pieces of 1/4. So it's the same as 2/4. I said that's the fraction. I hope that you get some idea for this. Jasmine, would you please go back to the slide? So to review what the
Yes,
math,
ma'am.
and then I'm learning something new too. Because of this workshop, I learned note, the music note. Okay.
Shall I go to the next slide?
Yes, would you please?
Okay.
Okay, so now you can
So this
now
is,
you can see the whole, right? That's your whole note because it's the whole piece. Would you please click on the next? Yeah, so whole and cut in half. Continue. I keep talking. And then you can see that's math in here. Let's stop in here a little bit. So it's 1 taking half the piece. So it's a multiply, right? 1/2 times 1, 1 times 1/2 is the same as, because in my whole piece of the pie, right? I'm cut it to two pieces and take 1/2 of that. So it's that 1/2. And how to convert it to percentage? Percentage, that means per hundredth. I'm not going to cut that. It will drive me crazy. That means my whole plate or pie, whatever you call, I'm going to cut it into 100 pieces, which means each of the half, I'm going to cut it 50 pieces, because 50 in here, right? So that's the reason if I take 1/2 this, that means I'm taking 50 pieces out of that. That's reason 1/2 is equivalent to 50%. Okay, so would you please click on this? Click, yeah. So that's 1/2. Continue clicking until I, yeah. So you can say 1/2, right? That's your half note. I learned that. It's a half note. Okay. So if we continue with that concept, using a whole, yeah, take half and take half a half, that is a quarter. So with multiplication, think about the 1/2, we take a 1/2, right? Because your denominator is the pieces, original pieces. Original is 2 pieces, but each of them going to divide it into another 2 pieces. That means 2 group of 2s, that will be 4. So each of, the denominator will be 4 pieces, right? So now think about it. Totally, I'm going to have 100 pieces, but I'm going to put that in the 4 group. Just think about $1 equal to 100 cents, right? If I have 4 group, that means 4 quarters. Yes, just the little coin quarters. That is 25 cents out of the 100 cents. So it's the 25%. All right, that is related to your music quarter note. And I learned that, okay, I can memorize that one with the little few circle. I call that. I may be wrong. I mean, music people will be not listening to me to say that. No, that's not what it called. All right, let's continue to review the 1/8. All right, so the whole, again, divide the 2 pieces, 4 pieces. And here we go. You cut another half, right? So there's half of 1/4. Think about that is half of 1/4. Or you can think about this is 1/4 of the is 1/4 of the half. So that's the reason we say the math multiplication it called as a commutative properties. So like I'm a friend of Zesman friend me, right? So it doesn't matter the order. So 1 times 2 is the same as 2 times 1. 1/2 times 1/4 is the same as 1/4 times 1/2. All right. And also that is little piece is 1 out of the 8 pieces the whole. So it's equivalent to 1 times 8. So those multiplication are equivalent for that. Right. So the 1/8 now a little bit difficult to think about the percentage, right? So think about 100 divided by 8. So that's not whole number. Sometimes when we don't see whole number, we get a little bit scary. But it's not that scary. It's just a number. So which means my original 25 pieces, I need, remember the quarter is 25 pieces. I need to cut the 25 pieces in even group. So each of them we have 12.5 piece with 12.5. Therefore, the 1/4 is equal to 12.5%. If you don't remember the number, I always like this. I'm not good with memorization. If I don't remember 1/8 is equal to what percent, what I'm going to think about this 1/4 is 25% because it's quarter. It's 25 cents, right? Then half of 25 is 12.5. So 12.5%. Here we go. That is the your 8 note right there. I hope that I did not talk too fast about math. Any question you want to ask me? No, you guys so easy. Oh my goodness. All right, you can get back to me anytime. And I think now is your music. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, now if you talk, think about the notes, right? Now I put it in the bar. Think about your note, the bar. I think you guys call it bars. I'm not sure. And if this is the whole note, right? After that is a half note, right? There's a relationship, right? Half the half, that's the quarter note, and compare with the whole because it's the purple one comparing the little 10 color for that is quarter of that, and the A is a half of quarter is a quarter of half and is 1/8 of the whole note. Here we go. Now it's a music time.
All right. Okay, everybody. So let's take a look here. So this next portion, I think Dr. Garola is going to explain this next portion here.
Okay, yes. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us again this morning. I know I had a couple of newcomers. So how does all of this relate to music? Well, it's quite simple. So I'm going to use a different kind of circle, okay? And I'm going to relate that to how we apply that to sound in music. So we have our whole circle, which is our whole note, right? Don't judge my drawing because it's a foam paper. But a whole note basically takes up a whole measure. And for us in music, a whole note is 4 seconds of sound or 4 beats of sound. So we would basically sing that first initial sound and hold it for those 4 beats or 4 seconds. So ooh, or ooh, okay? And then we can actually take that whole note and cut it in half, just like Miss Chen was saying. So we take our whole note and we cut it in half, right? We have our half and then our other half, okay? So 1/2 of that is our half note. And our half note will have 2 in each measure, and that means that each of those is going to have 2 seconds of sound or 2 beats. So we'll have 2 of those. So when we sing it, we sing the initial first note and hold it for 2 seconds, and then we sing again and hold for 2 seconds. So you'll have 2 distinct starting points of sound. So ooh, ooh, okay? Go ahead and go to the next slide. And we also have that in rest, okay? So if you have a whole rest or you have a half rest, it's just a whole measure of silence and then 2 seconds of silence, same thing. Okay, go ahead and go to the next slide. And then we divide that again, and we divide that into our 4, right? Our fractions, our quarters, right? We get 4. Right? And our 4 means that the quarter note is going to equal to 1 beat of sound. So if you have a 4/4 key signature, the top note is telling us, or the top number in our time signature, I should say, is telling us that there are 4 quarter notes in that whole measure. So each of those quarter notes is going to have 1 second of sound or 1 beat of sound. So ooh, 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 ooh. And then if we have rests, like the quarter rests that look, I call them our lightning bolts, but they each have a second of sound, of silence, I should say. And so we don't sing anything here, but we do count it as 1 second of silence, okay? And then if we divide those again into halves, right, we get our 8th notes, okay? So there are 4 8th notes in 2 quarter notes, or 2 8th notes into 1 quarter note, okay? So 2 of these, right, are going to equal to 1 of our quarter notes, okay? So, and that means that we are basically singing it twice as fast. So they each have a second of sound. So in this case, in 4/4 time, we'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? Or ooh, 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 ooh. Make sense? And then we have the same thing, but in silence. So these are our 8th rests. So they look like a little dot with the flag and then a stick, okay? If we have them separated, they look like the ones that you see in that circle with a little flag, okay? And then if we divide those again in half, so we divide our 8th notes in half, so our 8th notes, right? And we divide those in half, we get 2 16th notes, okay? So same thing as we do with fractions, and those are twice as fast. So we'll have 2 16th notes with 2 little flags in 1 of the 8th notes, okay? Does that make sense? Does everybody understand that concept? Does anybody have questions?
A 16th note, correct me if I'm wrong, that's 6.25%?
6.25%.
Excellent. Yay, I can do math.
Yay!
All right, excellent. Okay, I'm going to take it from Melissa here, from Dr. Garola. And oh, she put a little applause. How about that? That's awesome. So I'm going to show you the next slide, and we're just going to do a little review. And this is mainly for our music appreciation classes that are here. We have a few people from there. Let's do a little review of what everything is called. Okay. So first of all, we have the whole note, which does look like a little pie. And that's why I always like to use the pie analogy, because it's circular. And it takes up an entire measure, a whole measure of 4/4 time. Now remember that 4/4 time is also referred to as common time. So because of that, that's where all the note names are derived from. They're derived from common time. So the next one, of course, is the half note, which kind of looks like the pie, maybe with a knife on the side, like you're going to cut that pie in half, right? Of course, the next one is the quarter note. So the quarter note is filled in. It's actually filled in all the way. And then the next note it looks just like the quarter note, but it has a little flag on it, and that's the eighth note. All right, the eighth note, of course, takes up an eighth of the measure. The 16th note has two flags. It takes up a 16th of the measure, and the 32nd note has three little flags, and it takes up a 32nd of the measure. So if we were to take a moment, really think about that. Let's review it in our head. We have a whole pie. We can cut it into half notes. Then each of those, we can cut that in half and they become 4 quarter notes, right? Just like 4 quarters, like when you're thinking of a dollar, right? So there's that. Then you can divide those up into eighth notes. Okay, and these are the ones that musicians see either with flags or with a beam on top, because we connect them. Instrumentalists connect the eighth notes, and then the vocalists are the ones that usually deal with all the flags because of the syllables that they sing. So we have eighth notes, and then cut that in half, that becomes 16th notes. So here's a question for you. How many 16th notes are in a quarter note? Think about that. So here I've got 4 quarter notes that make up the entire measure, right? And if I were to count how many 16ths fall on each of those, I'm going to pick on somebody, if that's okay with you guys. I'm going to pick on Nathaniel Patterson. Good morning, Nathaniel.
Good morning.
How many 16th notes are there in a quarter note?
4.
Yes. All right. Are you a musician, Nathaniel?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, Miss Chen is giving you a round of applause. So bravo. Very good. Excellent. And then let's do one more question. Let me go to Sierra Avila. How about? I'm going to pick on you, Sierra. Okay. Sierra, how many 32nd notes do I have in a quarter note?
Is it 8?
Yes. Very good. Awesome. Bravo. Very good. Excellent. So now let's take a look here. Let's change slides. Lastly, those of you that are not familiar with the concept of the dot. So sometimes you'll see a note with a dot. So a dot added to one of the notes, it extends the duration by half of the original duration's value. So I use the half note as an example, okay? So the half note, half of it is a quarter note. When I add the half and the quarter, it equals a dotted half note. Now, Fan, how would you say that using, I guess, like that would probably be some kind of algebraic equation, right? If the half note is A and the quarter note is half of that, half of A, so we're going A plus half of A equals whatever.
1/2 A, or you think about the A is your music note, or you thinking A is apple or orange. I always think about it.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So what we wind up with the dot, everything is usually divided into 3 parts. Okay, so the half note is 2 beats, quarter note is 1 beat. We have 3 beats for the dotted half. Okay, and later if you had a dotted quarter, that's actually equivalent of 3 eighth notes. So we'll get to all of that in a bit. Now I'm going to quiz you guys on these names. Let me see who I have in here, because I know I have some non-music majors. Jacqueline Garcia, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So do you see the note on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what note is that?
That is a 32nd note.
Very good, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, are you a music major?
I used to be in a band, actually.
Oh, see, don't tell me that. Otherwise, we'll recruit you to band. All right. It's a great recruitment
Join
tool.
our band.
That's right.
Awesome.
She should, yeah. Well, very good. Excellent. Let me go to the next slide here. Let me pick on Nayeli Montoya this morning. Nayeli.
Yes, ma'am. That would, I think, would be a quarter note.
Very good. Excellent. You guys are very good. We're dealing with a group of smart people. All right. Very good. Bravo. And now I'm going to pick on Stephanie Lopez. Stephanie, I know she's a music major. How are you this morning?
Hello, I'm good.
Good. What kind of note is that on the screen?
Is it a 16th note?
It is a 16th note. Very good. Excellent. Thank you. We have a few more notes, and Miss Chen is giving a round of applause to everybody that is participating here. I'm going to pick on DeAndre. DeAndre, what note do you see on the screen there?
It's a half note.
Very good. Excellent. And I would expect him to know that because he is a music major and he is in Theory 4. Okay, we have a couple more notes here. Marlene Sandoval, what is that on the screen?
Eighth note.
That is an 8th note. Very good. Excellent. And lastly, I'm going to pick on Fan. Fan, what kind of note is that?
I know this one is the whole. Yeah.
The whole, that's
note.
right, the whole note. Very good. We have to teach Miss Chen as well, right? We're going to try to recruit her to the band as well. Okay, now let's do a little bit of music math. A half note plus a half note. I'm going to go back to Jacqueline Garcia. What is that equal to? A half note plus a half note?
I believe that'd be a whole note or either a quarter note. I'm not too sure.
No. Because the half note is 2 plus 2. So what gets 4 beats?
A whole note.
A whole note. Excellent. Good job. All right.
May I ask you a math question in here then? What is half plus half?
It is a whole.
It is a whole.
Yeah,
That's
it is a
right.
whole.
Exactly.
We got math and music together.
Right. There you go. Good. Excellent. All right. Sierra Avila, I'm going to jump back to you. What is an 8th note plus an 8th note equal to?
A quarter note.
Yes, it is. An 8th plus an 8th is a quarter. Very good. Excellent. Okay, now this one gets a little more complicating. I'm going to go to Marlene for this one. Marlene, what is an 8th note plus a 16th?
It'd be a dotted eighth note.
Yes, it is. It's a dotted 8th note. So for those of you that are music appreciation, the way I think of this is by splitting this 8th note into 2 parts. So this would be 2 16ths plus a 3rd 16th, right? That equals 3 16ths, which is the equivalent to a dotted 8th. Very good. Excellent. All right. A half note plus a quarter note. Let me go back to Nayeli Montoya. What would that be, Nayeli?
I know that we went over this. I know it's a dotted, but I'm not really sure.
Okay, it's a dotted half.
Half. Okay.
It's a dotted half. Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And now the next one, I'm going to ask Nathaniel because Nathaniel had his hand raised earlier. I'm sorry I didn't see you, Nathaniel.
I didn't know it.
Oh, okay. You couldn't figure it out, but that's okay. How about this
Well-
one?
I didn't know that my hand was raised.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought I saw your hand raised. It could have been somebody else, but okay. Do you want to figure this one out?
This is an eighth note
No. What kind of note is that?
because it's 4 30-second notes. Oh, so that would be.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. You're giving me the answer. Yes, it is the equivalent to an eighth note. Correct. 4 30 seconds. Very good. Good, Nathaniel. You move fast. I couldn't catch up with you. All right. How about, let me ask Marlene this one. Marlene, 16th note times 4 equals?
Quarter note?
Yes, correct. Sorry. I haven't had enough coffee, apparently. Good. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into 6/8 time. Okay, 6/8 time. I'm going to have Dr. Garola explain this to you. And I think we're doing well on time. So we're moving along quite nicely. So Dr. Garola, can everybody see us when we're talking to you while I have this up? Everybody can see us? Yes, good. Okay, excellent. All right, Dr. Garola, it's all you.
All right, thank you very, very much. All right, so this is what we call 6/8, okay? What that means is that we have a 6/8. It's telling us that the top number is the number of beats we're gonna have in the measure, and the bottom number is what note is going to get the beat. So in this case, we would have the eighth note getting the beat, meaning that we would have 6 eighth notes in that measure, okay? And how would we count this? Well, I guess the easiest way is to kind of teach you guys how we would conduct that. So if we were to have a 6/8 time, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And then so you would have those 6 in that one measure. Now, if we're doing it a little bit faster, usually we beat it like kind of like in a circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That also translates to having 2 dotted quarter notes inside of the measure, because 3 of those eighth notes, so 2 eighth notes equals a quarter note. And then that extra one is that dot, so that gives us that dotted eighth, the dotted quarter note, and then we'll have 2 of those inside of the measure. So when we count it, it's 1, 2, okay? Or if you're subdividing in your head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? So again, we have those dotted quarter notes, so 2 of those dotted quarter notes are gonna end up completing the measure. Okay, and then we can go ahead and divide that into 6 parts, okay? And so those are our 16th notes, right? And so the way that we would count that is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and, okay? Because 2 of these 16th notes are going to equal to 1 of our eighth notes. Does that make sense? Yes? So if I were to sing that really fast, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Yes? I wish I had my piano here because we can also demonstrate it on the piano, but the piano's in the other room. But okay? So this is how we would subdivide those into the measure if we were to have those 16th notes. Okay? We can go ahead and go on to the next measure. Okay, and then we can divide it into partials of 1/3 and 2/3. So the way that would work is, well, we have this first note here is our eighth note, right? So that would be 1. And then these 2 16th notes, because we have their 2 little lines, are going to give us our 16th notes, right? So these 2 are going to give us 1 eighth note. So then we would subdivide that. So 2 and And then we have another set here. So that would be 3 and, okay? And then we have a quarter note here. So if I were to ask, I don't know, let's see, Marlene, we have a quarter note here. So how many eighth notes am I going to have for this quarter note?
2.
So we're going to have 2. So this would be beated as beat like 4, 5. And then we have another 2, right? 16th notes here, which equal to one of those eighth notes. And then that'd be 6 and, okay? So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 6, and, because we're holding this one for that 4th and 5th beat. Yes, does that make sense? Yes? Anybody have questions? I know it gets a little convoluted, right? When you're adding all these subdivisions, okay? And then we can go ahead and subdivide that into 3/6, which is going to equal to half. So then this first note here in 6/8 time is telling us that we have a dotted 8. So almost R2, right? And then this 8th here is going to kind of be paired with this dot here. Okay, so then that would equal your full 2 beats, and then 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Shall I do that again? One more time. We go back just one more time. All right, so remember, because we have the 8th, it's dotted, so it's almost 2, not quite, right? So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and, okay? All right. Pretty simple, not overly complicated. So what we're going to end up doing right here is we actually ended up designing a worksheet for you guys to kind of help you put the math side with the music side together. So we're going to go ahead and break out into sessions, and we'll have 2 of those breakout rooms. And this is the time if any of you need to, you know, take a break, get some water. This is the time to do it. We'll go ahead and separate into groups, and then we'll come back and review some of the concepts that we went ahead and discussed today. Okay. Miss Chen, can we go ahead and do those breakout rooms? I've never done a breakout room.
Dr. Flores is going to do that since she's
Okay.
the meeting organizer. And I think that you guys can find we are going to post the worksheet in the chat room right now, right? So they can grab a copy of that.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. Yes, let me do that. Let's see here, right where I was. Let me add the worksheet. Sorry, this is, let's see. Okay, now I have to find the worksheet. Brain, think.
I can do it.
I know where it is. No, I found it. I found it. Okay, sorry. I have everything like subcategorized, a subcategory of the subcategory. There we go. All right. Did it upload? No. Let me start a new conversation. Okay, let me try it again. How about, no, it's going to be this one. There it is. Why is it not doing that? Let me try over here. If I try in the chat, what if I try it through here? Upload from my computer, and the following characters are not allowed. Why is it saying that?
Okay, you let me try.
Okay.
Going into it and downloading it for us. So give me 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Grola might have better luck uploading it than I have for some reason.
If not, I can upload it for you guys now.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I run into the same issue. Not sure what happening here. Let me change your okay, what I'm going to do is let me do this way. I'm going to send you guys a link of the
File.
let me do this. Let me upload the file. Do you know how to go grab the file from the Teams?
Yes.
Okay, so I was asking the student, if you go to the channel where you are having the meeting right now, okay, go to the files. I'm going to upload the file right now. Let's see, upload file, cross our finger.
Let's see what it does.
I would say uploading. Okay, it's there. All right, so let me share my screen so you can see where you can find it.
Ah, yes.
All right, so this way you have the meeting, and extending, looking at the post, click on files. Under the files, this is the worksheet we are going to have you to work out in the breakout room. The CCA for music, keeping math in mind. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you can all get it, and then now we can do the breakout room, I think.
All right. Yeah, let's see. Now, here's the question. What am I going to do, Fawn?
So could you please share your screen so I can walk you
Sure.
through? Oh, I see a
Yes.
cute doggies there, puppy.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, go to your meeting.
Okay. Right. No, hold on. Here we go.
No, the second one. No, go to the meeting. Go to the screen where you can see me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the middle one. Yeah, here we go. On the top, you see, yeah, on the left, move to the left. The mouse move to the left. Oh, no.
The little square with the
right next, the little square inside the square. On the
Mhm.
right hand side. On the right hand side. No, not this.
Right,
Yeah, that
that
one.
one.
Click on that one. Yeah,
Okay.
and then automatically, why you want automatically? Okay.
How many
So
rooms do we need? We need 2.
Yeah.
And automatic. Create.
Okay. Great.
I'm learning something new, ladies.
I know, me too. I've
And
never
then
seen this
you
here.
can start the room now.
Okay. All right. Start rooms.
Here we go. And then you can travel to different room because you are the organizer.
Oh, okay. I can also take a potty break. That's exciting. I could do
Yeah.
that. And it
Okay.
looks like we've got a music person in each room. We have Dr. Vasquez in room 1, and we have Dr. Garola. Yeah, perfect. All right.
Hi, did you call me?
Yes, I don't know how to resume the meeting. Did I hang up on everybody?
Oh, you just closed the room.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
heaven knows. All I know is that I was trying to call everybody back.
No. Okay. So what you need to do is go back to the breakout room and then close the room.
How?
Share the. Yeah. So you know the same way when you go to the breakout room on the top, and
Yeah.
then when you click on that, you should have an option say close the room. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Thank you. Didn't know how to do that.
No, that's okay. Yeah, learning.
I X'd out of it, and all of a sudden I was like, I have a feeling I just hung up on everybody.
Oh no, you can just like I think everyone's coming back to here.
Yes.
Okay.
I know. I'm sorry, everybody. We're back. So I think let's go ahead and talk about the answers, at least for the next couple, like maybe the first 5 or so of the sheet, and make sure that you guys are doing everything correctly while we kind of wait on everybody else to come back. So let's see. First of all, on our sheet that I need to find, here we go. Let me find, I'll use this one. I'll use the publisher version. Okay, cool. All right, so what did we get on the first one? What did we get?
You're
3 beats.
right now. Okay, this is all we're gonna do.
Dotted half, 3 beats. Or for the first answer?
Dotted half. Right, exactly. Yes, and it gets how many beats, Sierra?
3.
Your science notebook.
Good. All right, and Melissa is talking to Leilani.
No, that's
Get that science notebook. Yes. All right. Excellent. Number 2. Who would like to chime in? Half of a quarter note. What is it?
An eighth note.
Good. Thank you, Sierra. You're fantastic. She's a good sport. Do we still have Marlene in here? Marlene likes to be shy. Okay. Next, how about number 3? How many sixteenths are in a quarter? What do we think? Who is this? Said something. Somebody said something. Yes. I don't know. How about Stephanie Lopez? Stephanie Lopez, how many sixteenths are in a quarter?
Answer, just so you know, she's feeding baby girl. She just had baby girl.
Oh, did she have baby girl? Okay. All right. Well, she's a little bit busy then. Okay. Let me talk to, how about Jacqueline Garcia? Jacqueline Garcia, how many sixteenths are in a quarter note?
There are, okay, it takes me a while.
It's okay. It's okay. So you have 4 quarters, right?
Right.
And then we know that there's 16 sixteenths in a whole measure, right? So what if we divide 16 by 4? What's 16 divided by 4?
It is 4?
Yes. And so every quarter note has 4 sixteenths. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Excellent. Very good. Awesome. I have Nayeli Montoya. Nayeli, how about number 4? Which note is an eighth of a quarter?
Yes, ma'am. We talked about it, and I think we said it was 32nd note.
That's correct. Yes, very good. Yes, because there are 32 32nd notes in a measure, right? And so if we divide that up into 4, then you get 32 divided by 4, which is 8. And so there are 8 in a quarter. Very good. And then one more. Let's do which note is 3/4 of a whole note. Who wants to answer that? Let me see who else I've got in here. All right, they're starting to drop out like flies, but DeAndre. Yeah, I'm going to ask DeAndre, which note is 3/4 of a whole note?
Dotted half.
Dotted half. Excellent. Thank you for being a good
Dotted
sport,
half note.
DeAndre. A dotted half note. Very good. Okay, now let me ask you guys. Let me go back to my screen too here. Are there any questions? Any questions? No? So to kind of summarize today, one day, years from now, you're going to have to put on a camp. Okay? For your church or for your friends, or you're going to have to take care of some kiddos, right? And so this is one way that you can connect math with music, is through rhythm. And so I want you to kind of use some of the ideas that you got today, because you're going to think back 10 years from now to these three ladies, Dr. Flores, Dr. Garola, and eventually Dr. Chen, right? And you're going to say, what did they do to combine math and music? And so you'll build on what we've done today, this PowerPoint presentation, and maybe come up with some ideas of your own. You saw that we cut up a piece of paper into different parts, into halves and quarters and eighths and sixteenths and so forth, right? What are other ways that you can think of fractions and rhythms? Think about that for a second, right? And also the next real step is thinking about complex music and how to divide it into parts. We also talked about 6/8 too. Okay, with 6/8 time, we have dividing up, basically we have two sets of triplets, and each triplet can be divided into 6 16th notes, right? Now, Dr. Garola had mentioned counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and, right? Another way for my music majors is 1 ta la ta lita, 2 ta la ta lita. Okay, if you're advanced enough to think of it that way, you can think of it that way as well. And so that's kind of more of a music major secret. Okay, but I want to take a moment and thank everybody for being here, and thank Ms. Chen for her expertise and for inviting me. So the story goes, just to kind of wrap up today, I was doing my tenure committee interview, the big 5-year, as you all know. Basically, it's very nerve-wracking if you don't know this about EPCC, right? We have to go through a tenure process. And so I turned in a binder, and Miss Chen was on the committee, and afterwards she told me, hey, why doesn't music work with math? And I said, that would be great, because they are very interconnected. So in an effort, EPCC is really trying to get more students to focus on math, because we see kind of a little bit of a deficit there. So this is part of that effort. So Ms. Chen, as busy as she is, thank you so much for being with us today. And we hope to see you again, of course, on Wednesday, Ms. Chen, right?
I have fun. I learned some music. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent.
And
Yes.
thank you guys for joining us. You know, we do have our social media pages. Find us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Subscribe. You know, that helps us put our departments out there. We do post a lot of our student videos and performances out there, so you guys can take a look at what our department is doing. And just, you know, if you're interested, come on by. Come talk to us, come join us in choir, band, orchestra, percussion, guitar, any of those. We'd love to have you. So please find us on our social media page, and, you know, even send us a little hello there.
Yeah, the more likes, and YouTube, we're getting there. We should be getting our own URL very soon. I know there's some logistics there with YouTube. As you know, if you've ever heard anything about YouTube, it gets a little complicated, but thank you so much, you guys. And from the bottom of our hearts, we hope to see you again on Wednesday. Wednesday, we're talking about intervals. So I'm going to drag my Music Theory 1 class over here by their ears to make sure that they come so they can really, it'll help them understand intervals a little bit better. And then Friday, we're talking about the Harmonic Series. And that's really cool because we don't teach the Harmonic Series in school because it's like one added concept that it's too much. It's like there's already enough on our plates, right? So the Harmonic Series is very helpful to instrumentalists, just string players, wind players, brass players, anything where the instrument is flexible and you have to produce the notes yourself, right? Piano, you can kind of understand the same principles, but it's not quite the same as winds and strings. So please join us for that. And we would love to see you there. I think this is it. I'm going to head into my 10 a.m. class with DeAndre and Marlene. And for the rest of you, au revoir until Wednesday. Okay?
Yeah, see you Wednesday.
And
Thank
don't-
you.
Yes.
Don't forget to download the attendance